Welcome to another episode of the Jam Pack Report, today for May the 5th of 2021. Of course, my name is Samuel Adams, and this is a daily gaming news podcast meant to bring you the hottest news you need to know from around the industry, hosted on YouTube and podcast services around the world 5 days a week. This is your one-stop shop for everything you need to know. So if you enjoyed the show and you like what you see, hit that subscribe button and keep coming back for more. But Sunset Overdrive could be making a return on PlayStation if a new trademark is to be believed. I do want to make something very clear. Just because something is trademarked does not mean that it's actively being worked on. But this news comes from Nibellion on Twitter, who says, quote, "It appears that Sony has registered a trademark for Sunset Overdrive. Insomniac owns the IP, but the original game has been on Xbox One and Windows only so far. Of course, it's also available on Xbox Series X and S through backward compatibility, but it is not available on the PlayStation 4 nor the PlayStation 5. So, if this trademark is registered and is intended to be used, not only could you see Sunset Overdrive itself come to PlayStation, but on top of that, you could see a Sunset Overdrive sequel come to PlayStation. And there have been rumors circulating around that Sunset Overdrive Apocalypse could be the name of the next game. That has not been confirmed, that has not been discussed in full in public, that is just basically a hypothetical at this point. But it's nice to see that Sunset Overdrive is at least not dead. Whether they are working on it right now or whether they are going to work on it in the future, the fact of the matter is the trademark has been renewed, and it looks like Sunset Overdrive is at least still a thought in the minds of those at Insomniac Games. Which is an interesting thought because now Insomniac is owned by Sony, and so without the possibility for a third-party collaboration unless approved by Sony, which is very, very unlikely, you are effectively looking at the future of Sunset Overdrive being on PlayStation and potentially PC, but at least a PlayStation console exclusive if I did have to guess. So we'll see what comes of this, but very exciting stuff here for Sunset Overdrive fans, of which I am one very solid game there, and I would love to see the franchise return. And I see a lot of console fanboy talk going on in the online community, where they're talking about the Xbox exclusivity, they're talking about this game potentially coming to PlayStation. No matter how you cut it, I personally just want more people to play Sunset Overdrive, and on top of that, I want to see a sequel regardless of where it is. And so if that's on Xbox, great. If it's multi-platform, cool. If it's only on PlayStation, sure, why not? Just make it happen because I want that game to exist. Very exciting time if that's the kind of approach that you do take. But I will follow along with the story and will update you guys as is appropriate. And on top of that, I mentioned this on yesterday's show, but Walmart's unannounced cloud gaming service has been detailed in confidential Epic emails thanks to this new Epic versus Apple lawsuit that has been taking the gaming world by storm today and throughout the rest of this week. But this is a cloud gaming service codenamed Project Storm that was being worked on back in 2019. According to an email, quote, "I played Walmart's demo on an Android phone with an Xbox controller, and the experience felt like playing on PS4 and superior to playing on Android or iOS," said Epic Games co-founder Mark Ryan in an email thread from April 2019. Ryan also excitedly shares a photo of a game clip with the rest of the Epic Games executive team, showing how Walmart was planning to sell this in stores to let a phone attach to a controller. Quote, "They're going to sell the clip for a crazy low amount. They were saying something like $2, said Ryan. Of course, you can find more information, but the report from The Verge goes on to describe the service itself, and in short, this is something more akin to a GeForce Now as compared to something like an Xbox cloud gaming service, because you would be able to access third-party launchers. You would be able to see indie games that are brought onto the service directly, and of course, big games as well. And this entire conversation stemmed from the talk with Walmart about Fortnite being included on the service, which would have been a very, very big get. Now, further down in the article, they do bring up Liquid Sky, which is a cloud streaming service that Walmart has acquired, and it was previously powered by IBM's Cloud's bare metal servers and NVIDIA GPUs, so this would be a powerful Windows-based PC game streaming solution. And the more that I read this, the more that I am actually on board. I will say, I don't like the idea of having a Walmart game streaming service. That sounds like a second-rate kind of experience, even if it could potentially be the best. But it would just have to be treated very, very carefully. You couldn't put Walmart branding on this. You would really not want this to be affiliated with the company at all. But people would still know, but you would still want this to be its own independent entity. But to be able to see these Steam and Uplay and Origin platforms available on this cloud gaming service would be something that I think could potentially change the game. Now, it's still unclear as to if they are still working on this currently today. If I had to guess, it would probably have been put on ice if we have not heard anything thus far. But early mock-ups are available here on the official Verge article, and it does look very, very similar to what you see from many cloud gaming services today. If this does come to market, Walmart now has much stiffer competition. Of course, you do have GeForce Now, which effectively brings a very similar experience. And on top of that, you have services like PlayStation Now and Xbox Cloud Gaming through Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. So these are a lot of competitors to consider, and more, of course, are on the way. But it sounds like at least some Epic executives were impressed with what Walmart had brought to the table, and I think this $2 price point is something that's very, very unique, because to be able to sell a clip for $2 in a Walmart store and to be able to bring in these very budget-minded consumers that are shopping at Walmart is a big, big benefit, because they already trust Walmart. They go to Walmart every single day for their groceries, their goods, their games. And so to be able to tap into that audience and say, hey, we know you like coming to Walmart. We now have a cloud game streaming service, and you can get in for $10 a month, and here's a $2 clip for your Xbox controller. That sounds pretty powerful, if I did have to say so myself. So we'll see if more news comes of this, but the Epic versus Apple court case has been insane this week. Tons of big news coming out of that. Again, as I said yesterday, too much for me to really dig into in depth here. And when it's all said and done, we might go back and do a post-mortem recap of everything that was discussed. But definitely stay tuned in if you are interested in the world of Tim Sweeney and the team behind the scenes at Epic Games. But to round out today's show, a bit of a cryptic teaser for tomorrow. Battlefield 6 will be getting its first official announcement on May 6th. According to recent rumors, this report comes from Modern Warzone, a source for a lot of Call of Duty and first-person shooter-related information. And this is shaping up to be a massive week for gaming news, they say. Indeed it is, so stay tuned. If I did have to guess, this is probably going to be some kind of very high-level teaser that just gives you, ultimately, the time frame when the game takes place. This is supposedly going to be a modern Battlefield game, and we saw some leaked screenshots earlier this week that seemingly confirm this, if they are in fact true and if they are in fact real. But very exciting for fans like myself that love first-person shooters. I am very much so looking forward to a next-generation Battlefield experience. There are rumors of a day-night cycle even being included, which I think is something that a lot of players would want, especially with HDR and especially with ray tracing included. A lot of good stuff to look forward to this holiday season alongside Battlefield as well. But this game is dropping in 2021, so again, you are probably going to be seeing a teaser this week for something to be announced in June alongside EA Play, and then a launch later this year with plenty of little events showcasing some gameplay throughout the summer. Very exciting time to be a gamer as we get into the height of the gaming news season. But that rounds out today's episode of the Jam Pack Report. If you enjoyed today's show, drop me a like down below and let me know what you think about everything we talked about here today. But would you like to see Sunset Overdrive on the PlayStation 5? And on top of that, would you want to see a sequel regardless of where it is in fact launched? Would love to hear what you have to say. But until next time, you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. I'll talk to you soon, and peace.